Once again, India shows no signs of slowing down with their new, ambitious megaproject on the Nicobar Islands. Their mission? To build a massive transshipment port, airport, a military base, industrial park, and even a power plant. In short, they aim to build an enormous trading hub that would be proudly called the Hong Kong of India. Despite the apparent benefits, critics argue that India's plan for the untouched Nicobar Islands could be a death sentence for the isolated tribes living there. So, a couple of quick questions. What's so special about the project, and what are the problems in its way? I'm Ryllan, and today we are delving into the exciting story of the Nicobar Islands megaproject. Did you know that almost a quarter of containers from India go through foreign ports for transshipment? Most of these, about 80%, pass through ports like Colombo, Singapore, and Klang. Unsurprisingly, this leads to Indian ports missing out on potential revenue of $19.74 trillion annually, which could have been earned from handling transshipment cargo. These losses escalate to around $400 to $500 billion for the overall economy. But India found its way to address these losses by establishing a transshipment port within the country. To fulfill such an economic boost, the Indian government is ready to invest $9 billion in developing an island in the Great Nicobar region of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal. This is the Great Nicobar. It's a thickly forested, 900 square kilometer Indian island. It lies about 800 miles east of Chennai, and it's only 93 miles northwest of Aceh, on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. So, you might be wondering why this small island is important enough for the Indian government to plan a $9 billion port project here. There might be something of value, because the project aims to transform this Indian Ocean island, which is currently home to 8,000 inhabitants, into one of the biggest trading hubs in the world, as well as attracting tourists. The project was announced by the Prime Minister on August 10, 2020, with plans for holistic development of the island. ACOM India Private Limited, based in Gurugram, prepared the pre-feasibility report for this project under the guidance of NITI Aayog. The report outlines the objective of transforming a large, sparsely populated, remote island into a maritime and tourist hub, fostering a diverse and robust economy with a new greenfield city. This project comprises 4 key components: the International Transshipment Port at Galathea Bay, a greenfield international airport, a power plant, and a new township area. These components are interlinked and form the core of the Nicobar project. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways will oversee project implementation through the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port in Kolkata. The project is planned to unfold over 3 phases spanning 30 years, aiming to enhance India's engagement in global shipping trade, generate numerous job opportunities, and enhance the quality of life for current and future island residents. Among the project's elements, 2 terms stand out: transshipment and greenfield. Great Nicobar Island holds significant economic and strategic importance due to its location. It lies along the primary east-west shipping route linking East Asian exports with the Indian Ocean, Suez Canal, and Europe, just south of the island. Establishing a container port here enables India to actively engage in global shipping trade. Beyond transshipment, it can also serve as a storage reprocessing zone and shipbuilding facility. The proposed port is designed to handle 16 million containers annually, potentially saving Indian ports between $200 to $220 million each year by reducing reliance on ports outside of the country. Moreover, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, often referred to as Delhi Boulevard, serve a crucial role as an integrated military command. This designation positions them as a frontline defense against China's expanding presence in the Indian Ocean region. While recent years have seen some advancements in defense infrastructure, such as the establishment of India's southernmost naval air station, INS Baz, further development across the entire island is essential to bolster India's regional influence. Whether the Great Nicobar port can eventually rival Singapore's port remains to be seen, but maximizing the island's potential is vital for industrial and population growth at the grassroots level. With adequate infrastructure, the island can attract both domestic and international tourists. And to facilitate tourism, an international airport is necessary. Currently, Port Blair Airport handles around 2,000 passengers daily and 1.8 million annually. The new airport, designed for civilian and military use, will accommodate increasing passenger traffic and serve not only Great Nicobar, but also neighboring tourist destinations like Phuket Island in Thailand and Langkawi in Malaysia. This dual-purpose airport will enhance tourism and provide security during wartime. With a current population of about 88,000, the island's population is projected to increase by approximately 60,000 with the implementation of the project. A planned township will accommodate the growing population alongside commercial and industrial developments. To support these economic aspects, adequate urban infrastructure, including power supply, is essential. The envisioned greenfield city success hinges on reliable power generation. Plans include establishing solar, gas-based, and diesel power plants across approximately 16,610 hectares to meet the city's demand, which will ensure sustainability and growth. While the Great Nicobar project promises to elevate India's global standing and economy, it faces opposition over concerns regarding environmental impact, particularly regarding tribal reserve forest land and biodiversity. In a letter addressed to the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, 39 scholars from 13 different countries have expressed grave concerns. They warn that proceeding with the project, even in a limited capacity, could spell disaster for the Shompen people, amounting to what they deem as a potential international crime of genocide. The Shompen community, numbering between 100 to 400 individuals, resides on Great Nicobar Island. They rely heavily on the rainforest for their sustenance, and they have maintained minimal interaction with the outside world. Due to their prolonged isolation, the scholars fear that any contact with outsiders could expose them to diseases, potentially resulting in catastrophic consequences for their population. Notably absent from the government's project plans is a detailed account of how the Shompen and Nicobarese people, who also inhabit the island, will be impacted. The plans vaguely mention the possibility of relocating indigenous communities, quote, if required. While the Nicobarese have had comparatively more interaction with the outside world and are considered less vulnerable, the situation remains precarious for the Shompen. Last year, 70 former government officials and ambassadors voiced their opposition to the project in a letter to the president. They expressed concerns that the project would severely disrupt the island's unique ecology and endanger the habitat of vulnerable tribal groups. Another significant concern arises from the presence of endangered giant leatherback turtles nesting on the bay where development is planned. The construction activities pose a serious threat to these turtles. Moreover, the island's susceptibility to tectonic events, such as earthquakes and tsunamis, raises doubts about the suitability of the project's location. Consequently, environmentalists and experts have voiced apprehensions regarding the potential adverse impacts of the development project. To address these concerns, the Environmental Appraisal Committee thoroughly evaluated the issues and prepared an environmental impact assessment report. The report outlined guidelines and alternative options, considering factors such as endangered species, forest cover, and the well-being of local tribes. After a comprehensive 2-year analysis, a mandatory public hearing was held in Campbell Bay, which is the administrative headquarters of Great Nicobar, in 2022. Following the public consultation process, the final assessment report was published. Subsequently, the Great Nicobar project received forest and environmental clearance from the Ministry of Forest, Environment, and Climate Change, which paved the way for the project's progression. In January of 2023, the Ministry of Ports initiated an expression of interest process for developing the first phase of the transshipment project. By July of the same year, the government had received approximately 10 EOIs. It's important to note that an EOI serves as a preliminary step to assess technical expertise, financial capacity, experience, and other relevant qualifications before the formal tendering process. Prominent entities such as Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone, Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, and Container Corporation submitted EOIs. At the international level, Dutch dredging major Royal Boskalis Westminster has also expressed interest in participating in the bidding process. After analyzing the existing hurdles that need to be addressed, it is anticipated that the Great Nicobar project will reach completion shortly. Upon its fruition, not only will the island's development be realized, but India will also be positioned to rival countries like Singapore on the global stage. Let us know what other video you would like to see in the future. Thanks for watching.